is you go to create and you create that slide. Now you need to open up, and it should say Google Slides #1 Respectful and in your name. Open up the directions. Google Slide #1 Respectful Overview. The PBI's team has decided to ask you to make a slideshow to introduce Respectful under the UJH positive behavior expectation chart to new 6th graders that are coming in. The slideshow must have all the information from the following chart. Now I know it's hard to see this chart, so what I've also done, I've given you the example of the chart here, and you should be able to see this one. It's a lot clearer, okay? You will notice that you're going to be making 7 slides, okay? Let's go back to the directions. You'll make 7 slides minimum. The slides will have, see how I wrote slide 1 here, respect, slide 2, and then you're going to say arrival dismissal, and then you're going to put this information in there, hallway, and put that information, classroom, that information, cafeteria, rotation, that information, restroom, that information, and the last one's going to say reach to the top of the hill, and then this information. So, a good example of this, and if you have problems in seeing what I'm talking about, if you go to my website and you go to the very bottom where it says PBIS slideshow winners, last semester we had a contest who had the best one of my classes. Here is Respect. This was the one. This was made by Mary Flowers. And you will see what she's done is there's a picture on each slide. Her background is done, and I will show you how to do that. Respect, and then her name. If you go to the next slide, you notice how it transmits or what's called moving transition from one to the other. Do you notice how the backpack showed up? That's called animation. Do you notice the information, arrival dismissal, use low voices, so on, all right? So that information's in there. Notice the transition again. Hallway, walk quietly so that others may continue to learn. Treat others as you would like to be treated. The next slide should say something, classroom. Value the property of others. Listen with your eyes and ears to speaker. The next slide says cafeteria rotation. You notice the pictures are moving. That's our animation. Be polite to all cafeteria staff. You have to have these words somewhere on your slide, and that's what this information is for. Here is restroom. Keep restrooms clean and free of writing on the walls and doors. And then the last slide, you needed to write, which if you see here, to yourself, to others, somewhere you should have said, reach to the top of the hill. They did theirs a little differently, but I want you guys to write to reach the top of the hill. To yourself, to others, you got to be respectful to yourself, to others, to materials and properties as citizen. So this is an example of a slideshow. So, if you look here, I've done a template also, just to show you what words should be on each one. Reach the top of the hill, respectful, and your name should be there somewhere. Arrival dismissal, hallway, classroom, cafeteria rotation, restroom, and then reach the top of the hill to yourselves. Be respectful to yourselves, to others, to material properties as citizen. This is just the example, okay? Let's talk about how we do some certain things here. So I'm going to go to my show here. And the first thing I'm going to have on here is to be respectful. I'm going to write respectful somewhere. So I'm just going to maybe put respectful and then my name and then the period just to have it. It's like if I'm in this class. Now, that's pretty boring, isn't it? Yeah. It's not really, there's no excitement to it. All right? So the first thing I want to do is maybe put a background in. So I click on, and you notice I don't have anything selected. what I mean by selected is there's a blue box around it. That means like I can move this by moving the blue box. All right, I can make this blue box bigger. It moves in the process. I could maybe I want respectful to be a different font. I can pick any font. Maybe I want something like that. Maybe I want it bigger yet. Okay. My name, maybe I wanted to change it to a different font also. Maybe I want to put it in the corner instead of having it all out there. And now I'm going to go look for a background. Now I can do different types of backgrounds. I can do what's called color and pick a color. Ooh, I like that color. Let's see what that looks like. Man, that's bright. All right. Or I could go and look for an image. And I could do it different ways. I could go out and look on my URL. Maybe I can go find one. Maybe if I go to Google search and I search for, let's see, respectful. All right. And I look for respectful and I go to images and I find one that I like. All right. Oh, maybe I want this one. So I then find that image and I can do it this way. I can copy this, go back to my selection here, and I can paste that URL right in here. Notice it comes up. All right. Now my background's changed to that. All right. Now I can't move that background. I can't do anything with it. All right. The only thing I can move now is this information here. So maybe I want respectful. After I do that background, like, ew, that doesn't look too good. So maybe I'll make it bigger. Maybe I'll bold it. So I can do a bunch of stuff with this. Make it red. Maybe I'll make my own color. All right. All right. So I then can move this wherever I want it, make it look better, so on and so forth. Now, that's my first slide. If I want to add a slide, I would go up here where it says slide and hit new slide. I'm gonna go ahead and add all my slides in. How many do I need? 7. See here, 7. See the number? 7, 6. All right, all the way up to 5. Something just happened there that wasn't supposed to happen. Let me reload this. All right, so I have 7 slides. Every slide has a title. So like if I can put in the title, in this case, it's going to be arrival and dismissal. All right, so I would type in arrival and dismissal. And then after the arrival and dismissal, I would put my information in that I need. So I would type in, and it all needs to be in that order too. The first one would be arrival and dismissal. And that's why I gave you that sample. All right. So arrival and dismissal would be in here. All this information needs to be in here. All right. I'm going to get rid of this. All right. So you're going to have to wait. I'm in the middle of teaching. All that information's in there that needs to be. Now it's bland. Maybe I want to put a picture in. So I can go to insert. And I can do image. I can search. Maybe I'm going to search for a school bus since it has to do with arrival and dismissal. And I like this one. I put that bus in there. All right. I can make that bus right there. Another thing I can do is maybe I can even, if I want to be really, and I copy it and paste it. And copy it and paste it again. All right. So now I got 3 buses on the bottom. But one thing that you have to do is what's called animation. To do an animation, you hit insert, animation, and then this comes up. So maybe I want it to appear, and then I want it to, let's have it selected again, and I want it to disappear, and I'm going to do that with each one of these. Appear, and you'll see why I'm doing this. And then I want it to disappear. So I can do each one of these, and then I'm going to have it appear, and then when I'm done, I want it to move. Let's see, fly out to the right. So now if I hit play, I'm going to start from here just to show you. All right, and then if I click, I'm trying to make the bus look like it's going across the bottom. All right, and then he disappears. All right, but I'm doing, that's called animation that you must do. Plus, I need to do what's called transition. To do a transition, I would click on where it says transitions. Now I'm going to change that transition. I want it to slide in from the left. So what I'm doing is having this, see how it just slid from one to the other instead of just appearing? Those are other things that you need to do. Play around. This is a fun project more than anything.